morning. Hello and happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Realtor.com Results Series webinar. This is a very special session brought to you by North San Diego County Realtors. And I'm so thrilled to be here with you today. I recognize some of your names. We've met at the event we were at, was it about a month ago? Almost 2 months ago. Time is flying by so fast. We're already in December. How did that happen? So, thank you all for taking the time to be here today and learn about social media and how to power up your 2026 business plan. My name is Angie Javier. I'm a national speaker with Realtor.com, and it's been such a pleasure to. This is our second webinar together. I did the live event about a month ago. And so let's get rocking and rolling and talking about social media. And, let's be honest. Most realtors don't wake up excited to post on social media, right? Unless it's a just listed or a just sold. Typically, you just open your phone, maybe you scroll for a little bit, maybe you'll post something really quick or you'll respond to someone, and then you'll wonder if it even mattered, right? Meanwhile, content creators and influencers seem to make it look effortless. They're consistent, they're engaging, somehow always ahead of the curve. But here's the thing, it's not really luck. It's not just beauty filters or viral trending sounds or audio, it's strategy. Influencers and content creators, even the ones in real estate, the ones that we know, we see that we're following, like how are they doing this every day? It's all in their strategy. They know exactly who they're talking to. They show up with intention and they're using technology like AI to amplify and not replace their authenticity. And that's what today is all about. Whether you have 200 followers or 20,000 followers, you have influence to use your platforms with purpose. So, we're going to go through 10 strategies for social media that influencers and content creators love, that they stand by every day, not to make you act like an influencer, but to help you think like one and be more intentional in 2026 with your social media. Okay, so we are recording today. We are going to go through a lot of content. So if you need to come back to this in a couple days, you'll have the recording. And then if you have any questions, you can just pop them in here. You can shoot me an email. However, we can stay in touch. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our first social media strategy to help you power up your 2026 business plan is to know your people. Define your audience and your platform goals. So, content creators and influencers never just post for everyone, right? They know exactly who they're speaking to and what action they want those people to take. So, you all as realtors can do the same. You need to define your dream client, define your message and your platform goals before your post. So, your dream client, who are you trying to reach? Is it your sphere of influence? Are you trying to stay connected with past clients? Do they know you're still around and alive and doing real estate? Are you prospecting for new clients? And are they buyers or are they sellers? Right? So you need to identify who your dream client is. This way, your messaging will be more relevant, right? So, what you are posting on social media needs to resonate with your dream client. Your success in social media is going to come from the content you're posting and the conversations that are made from it. So, when you can tailor your message and your content and your posts, it will help capture your audience's attention. The more you can speak to them, the more they will remember you. So think of it like any social event, like a dinner party or a client event where you're welcoming your guests and you're encouraging that conversation. And then platform goals. The best platform for agents these days really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. And that's going to be different for each and every one of you. Okay. So if you're trying to stay in touch with your sphere of influence and your past clients, Facebook and Instagram, maybe Threads might be your best bet because it's more engaging, it's more conversational. And that's really where I'm pretty sure majority of you as realtors are utilizing Facebook to stay in touch with your sphere, friends, and family, right? Your referral circuit. If you're trying to scale and gain a wider audience, Instagram, TikTok, maybe even YouTube and a Google business page can help you scale and reach more eyeballs. Now, YouTube and your Google business page are not really social media platforms. They're used more for business visibility, but I know many agents that are treating their YouTube and their Google business page in terms of scaling their content, putting out information, educating their audiences, are using these two platforms to really help them reach more of that visibility. Okay, so if you're looking to scale your branding, those two are probably ideal for you. And then if you're looking, excuse me, looking to ramp up videos, right? We know that video is king. We know that video captures more attention, and the platforms ultimately put more effort and features and new technology in videos. So if you're looking to ramp up your video next year, obviously we want to lean in more on Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. Okay, so you need to know first off exactly who your people are, who you want to talk to, and why. And once you have that clarity, the next step is just defining your platform goals and just showing up consistently, right? One post won't make you memorable, but consistent, regular, purposeful posts will turn visibility more into trust. Next is post with purpose. So you want to think more like a publisher versus I gotta post something on Instagram today, right? Like think like a publisher. Choose 3 to 5 repeatable themes like market insights, local lifestyle, client stories, personal moments, right? These themes, repeatable themes, are your content pillars, right? And when you can show up regularly within your themes, it can really help you be more relevant to your audience and just have more meaning into your posts, right? We're not just copy and pasting different templates that we might get from our broker from their calendars. I actually have a content calendar I'm going to share with you here in a minute. You want your content to be more meaningful. So think like a publisher, and publishers always think about their audience first. There are tools out there like Meta Planner is for Instagram and Facebook that can help that consistency be more easy for you. So like a Meta Planner, another tool that agents really love is Later, Later, later.com. These are two they are scheduling tools, if you will, that can help you load all of your social platforms into one site. So when you schedule a post in the future, so let's say we want to start, piling up our content for the month of January, you can post them into a site like Later and schedule them ahead of time, all from just one page, right? From one site. Meta Planner obviously is just for Meta products like Instagram, Facebook, and so on. All right. Now, one easy way, because I know like I'm piling on the technology here, it might feel a little overwhelming for some of us that are not that tech advanced, is just create your own content calendar. Okay. Very easy way to hold yourself accountable for that consistency. And we know consistency is everything in our business and real estate, right? Consistency keeps you visible, it keeps you connected, it keeps you relevant. So here's an example of the month of December. We're already in the second week of December, folks, right? And so this is actually a template that I created for another one of my webinars that I do about video and something about social media. And I can actually share this template with you all. So what I'll do is actually, let me see if I could post it here. I don't think I can. Okay, well, no problem. I will make sure to get a link of this template over to Shirley and the team so that they can include it in the follow-up email to you all. But it's a Canva template. You just easily open it into your Canva. It's a free template. You don't need to have the paid version. And it already has every single week at least 3 different themes or topics that you can post on, right? You can move them around, you can change them, whatever resonates more with your business and your brand. But the goal here is to have a guide and a foundation that can help you be consistent with your social media and post with intention. Okay, so showing up is step 1. and making sure we're posting on a regular basis. I don't believe you, as realtors that's working with buyers and sellers every day, you don't need to post new content every day, which is why you'll only see like 3 to 4 ideas here per week. But if you do, if you are trying to gain more visibility and gain more trust from your audience, the more posts, the better. Okay. I do believe, I will say that you should be on your social media platforms every day, engaging with your audience. All right. And so that brings us right into the next strategy here. Engagement is your algorithm. So content creators don't just wait for comments or the likes to roll in. They actually initiate conversations, right? They understand that social media isn't a one-way street. It's a dialogue. So we're not waiting anymore for people to send a DM or to call when they're ready to make a move, right? This means for you, spending just a few focused minutes every day engaging your audience before you even post. Okay, excuse me. So every day, you're just going to open up your social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Threads, wherever, Blue Sky, whatever you're using. There's so many out there. It's fine. You're going to comment on 5 people's posts. So whoever just shows up right in your main feed, right? You're just going to comment a meaningful content, at least 3 sentences, right? It's better if you just type directly into the caption or the content, excuse me, into the comments area versus copying and pasting. Like the technology can tell if you're using AI or copying and pasting. And just take 5 people and leave a meaningful content on their post. And then you're going to look at 5 other people, and so specifically on Instagram and on Facebook or even TikTok, and you're going to respond to their stories, right? So stories are the bubbles across the top. It's the 24-hour story feed that disappears every 24 hours. You're just going to respond because the engagement algorithm is different for each one. All right. So you're going to take 5 people, just look at your circles at the top of your app. And you're going to pick 5 of them and respond to their stories. Same thing, a minimum of 3 sentences. And you're going to really feed the algorithm that engagement that you're doing, right? And then finally, you're going to send a thoughtful DM to 5 different people. DM is direct message, right? So we're going to go into the DMs and you're just going to take 5 people that are following you or you're following them, and you're going to send them something. Hey, I saw this and I was thinking of you. Or hey, I heard about this and I thought of you. Just something very thoughtful. This could also be those ongoing happy birthdays, happy anniversaries, congratulations, right? Do them in a very thoughtful way through DMs. I've heard agents, they like to use the video feature or the voice note feature in direct mail, not direct mail, in direct messaging. Okay. DM also stands for direct mail. But you can literally do this in 5 minutes every day. And this is you, again, feeding the algorithm with your engagement. Okay, so these small actions do a couple things. First of all, they make real people feel seen and valued, right? It's like, oh, this realtor thought of me and wanted to write something to me. So it makes it more memorable. But more importantly, these small actions signals the algorithm that you're active and you're relevant. And when you consistently engage first, your audience is more likely to notice your posts, respond to your questions and your stories, and remember you when it matters most, when they're ready to buy or sell. So just spend 5 minutes a day commenting, responding, and DMing before you post. This will prime the algorithm and engage your audience. And so think about engagement like planting seeds in your garden, right? It's to really grow faster. Sometimes you need to borrow that sunlight. You need more of that sunlight and that nurturing of your plants. So collaborations can help you feed more of that algorithm and gain more engagement. So that takes us to our next strategy here is collaboration. So partnerships equals borrowed credibility. So you could co-host an Instagram reel with your favorite lender. You can go live with a local business and interview the owner or your favorite barista. You can also use the collaboration feature on Instagram if you want to collab with another agent or again with your lender partner. So collaborations fuels cross-audience discovery. So once you are on people's radar, it's your story that can make them stay. And so sometimes we just need to borrow some of that credibility from others, right? And I'm sure many of you are already working with some of your affiliate partners, or you have other content creators that you've collaborated with. There's actual tools on Instagram that allows you to collaborate. The latest feature in collaborations on IG is you can now add a collaboration afterwards. So let's say that, I posted something last month about mortgage, like a mortgage educational post, mortgage tip, and I have a new lender friend that just came around, and I say, hey, why don't we collaborate on new content? I can now add a collaboration with this new person, even if it was from the past. Okay, so really cool things. There's always something new in IG that's just popped up on my radar recently. But for those of you that have used the collab feature before, you can only do it at the time you're posting, right? Now you can go back and add the collaboration. It's something that IG is just testing right now. And I think that the more people that are using it and they're seeing more importantly, engagement from those posts, it will stay. Okay. All right. So there we are. Number 4 is collaborate to accelerate. And again, just pick your favorite people, your favorite business partners, as you go into the communities, go live, do stories, do reels, and interview local businesses to really gain more visibility. All right. Next is master the art of storytelling. Stories sell because they connect. All right. So you can simply use frameworks like before, during, after, or before and after, right? Another one that is very common amongst realtors is this is the problem, this is the process, this is the payoff, right? So you can turn your everyday work into stories, something that's emotional and relatable content to your audience. Stories are very powerful. But in 2026, the best stories will continue to move fast. So we want to think about how are we telling our stories and how can we do it in more video format? Because we know that short form video is the king of attention right now. So 15 to 60 seconds of relatable, high value content can make your message unforgettable. All right. So storytelling, because if you like to do a lot of behind the scenes, whether it's in your stories or your posts or in your video content, think about framing it in the before, during, or after. Or here's a problem, here's the process, here's the payoff. This is how I am successful with my clients. All right. And then we take that story and we put it in a short form video. People are online scrolling to be entertained, informed, or inspired, right? And fast. We want it fast. That's why short form video rules everything, continues to rule everything. Even a 15-second reel can build trust, it can educate your audience, and it can even spark a DM conversation. So, in your short form videos, we want to think about how are we telling a story? And then what is the value that we're offering, right? What is the value in this message that we're providing to our audience? And then think about your dream client, right? Is this story something that's going to really benefit a first-time home buyer or a move-up seller? So when you really start to layer in your different goals and your dream client, it helps to really make your story more meaningful, right? So focus on the value first and then focus on the style next, right? Let's not get too worried about the style and the filters and the all of these cuts and edits. I think so often agents get overwhelmed with the editing part of it that you just don't do it. And so style is second, just use CapCut. CapCut is a very popular app that you can use for TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, any short form video. It's all templated, so it just tells you, you pick a template, it tells you how many videos, short videos, or how many images you need to upload, and it'll create the video for you. So CapCut will be your dream in 2026. And then always, always be authentic in your stories. Okay. I know that we're using a little bit of AI these days to help us with our captions and our outlines for our videos, but always make sure that when you are narrating or you're showing up on camera, it is authentic. It's authentically coming from you. Oh, hello. How to spell CapCut? Cap, CAPCUT. I didn't know the chat was on, so there you go. CAPCUT, cap cut. All right. So, value first, tell stories on how you're helping your clients learn, be successful in today's real estate market. And then style second. Again, we're not going to overwhelm ourselves trying to be editors and trying to figure out the technology. Let's just use the apps that are out there and then always show up authentically, right? But even great content means little if you don't know what's working. That's why content creators and influencers are obsessed with one thing that a lot of realtors overlook. It is the analytics. So every influencer tracks their numbers and for good reasons. Well, first of all, influencers that do social media content creation is that is their career. That is how they make money. And so everything that an influencer does is based on the numbers and the data of their posts and of their content. They get paid by the number of engagement, I'm sorry, the depth of the engagement, the number of likes and all that stuff, right? Number of followers. That's it, professional influencers. We want to have kind of the mindset of the influencers, but again, you're not 24/7 content creators. You're selling real estate. You're trying to promote your brand and trying to build trust with your audience. It's a whole different way of approaching social media. But if we can kind of use some of the best practices from an influencer's guidebook here, we want to view things like the views on your post, how many times your post was saved, shares, comments, even DMs can tell you what content is actually connecting with your audience. So without tracking these metrics, posting on social media is like guesswork, right? And who has time to guess around these days? So for realtors, for you all, analytics can be your secret weapon to success. They can show you which posts are more relevant to your audience. And for example, if a short video about staging tips gets 3 times the save of an average different post, you know now that your audience loves practical advice. You can create more content in that same style, right? And then you don't have to get lost in spreadsheets. Again, don't get overwhelmed with the technology. There are platforms that exist that can summarize the data, show trends and opportunities. So common analytical tools used by professional creators includes the platform native tools. So in for Facebook and for Instagram, it's called Meta Business Suite. Meta Business Suite for Facebook. Instagram actually has its own directly in the app called Instagram Insights. All right, so I'm constantly looking at my Instagram insights. Again, I'm not an influencer. I'm not a content creator. I'm also not a realtor. So my goals for my Instagram will be greatly different from yours. So I tend to look into my analytics on Instagram and on Facebook often just to see what content my audience is liking and engaging with the most. And then I will just repeat those posts throughout the year. And I'll just maybe redo it, polish it a little bit, and post it again because I know that it's content that my audience is realtors, brokers, and real estate industry professionals. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced here, I know a couple of you might be already knowledgeable of Instagram Insights or Business Suite. There are some additional tools that you can invest in, such as Sprinkler or Melt Water. Sprout Social is actually the one we use here at Realtor.com, our social media team. Sprout Social that you can use to fully analyze all of your social media platforms and really help you strategize for greater growth, right? And wider audience spread. And so again, Sprinkler, Sprout Social, Meltwater, again, are analytical tools used by professional influencers and social media teams. All right. So think of analytics like a GPS for your content, right? It'll tell you where to go, what to repeat, what to tweak. And when you're using data consistently, you just stop posting regularly. Excuse me, stop posting randomly. Start posting more regularly, pardon me, and then really start growing your influence strategically. Okay, so we want to stop being random. We want to be more intentional and more regular, and we want to be more strategic with our influence through social media. We're on number 8, building a community, not just a following. All right, so here's the thing. Followers are just numbers, right? But community is true power. Influencers don't chase follower counts. They focus on building people who care about them and who trust them and are invested in their content about real estate. And so the same principle applies here for you all. Your goal isn't to rack up likes, it's to create connections that turns into conversations, referrals, and clients. So we really want to make our audience feel seen and heard. So we talked about this in engagement. We do the 555 rule. When you can communicate with them directly, it just makes them feel seen, it makes them feel heard, and makes them feel like, whoa, this really busy realtor thought of me today and reached out. And then it's a technology strategy to help with the algorithm, right? So, how do we build a community? How do we do that engagement? Well, in your posts and all of your reels, your stories, ask questions, right? Ask questions. What do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts. Is this something you've seen in your market? Right. So ask questions in there so people feel prompted to respond to your content. Another idea is you can just simply host a quick Q&A in your Instagram. You can either do it live or you can do it pre-recorded and upload them into stories, right? You can just come up with your own. Here are the top 3 questions, burning questions I'm getting from buyers right now. And then you can do a Q&A feature, whether it's in your stories, your reels, or in your posts. Even the smallest actions can signal your value to their opinions, right? And so people naturally will respond to that kind of attention when you're asking for the value of their opinion. Now, another idea here for building a community is to consider creating exclusivity. Okay, so exclusivity amongst your followers. Now, the easiest way to do this through Instagram is you can create a close friends list. Okay, a close friends list. So let's say you have 500 followers, you have a public Instagram page, you're posting all of these things. You can create a close friends list. So let's just say it's your besties, it's people that you really do know, they're not random followers. And you have 100 people on your close friends list. There's no limit, by the way, you can add as many as you want. And so this only works for Instagram stories for now. I know that they're still kind of testing the close friends capability on Instagram. But if you post a story, let's say that it's, something over the weekend, something a little bit more personal. You don't really feel like sharing to everybody in the world. But you want to share with, some of your followers, add them to a close friends list. And when you post that story, you can say, only post to my close friends, and it'll only show up to those, 100 people that you've selected. Okay, so for example, a real example here, I just came back from vacation and I continue to post my content like usual. And I, tend to just be funny, make jokes and things like that. But there were, a few moments that I shared with, my husband and I on vacation and things like that. And I would only select my close friends list. Only the people that truly know me and have met my husband before gets to see that content. Okay. And I tell you, I get the most engagement from those green posts. Okay, so something to consider if you're looking into creating exclusivity. Another way that you can do this that I've heard agents is they will create a close friends list of potential sellers or potential buyers, right? And you create content that's specifically for them. And so it makes them feel that this is something they're part of an elite group from you. On Facebook, so if you're not using Instagram, on Facebook, you can create a private group, right? A private group. So you only post things, you let people know this is a private group, you've been selected. I will be posting, exclusive information in here or additional tips that's specifically for this group for networking. You can also create a newsletter that's targeted to a more VIP audience, right? So when you create these exclusive spaces, it can give your most engaged followers a sense of belonging and more insider access, which strengthens trust and loyalty. And so, also on LinkedIn, there's also private groups you can set up on LinkedIn as well. So again, we're talking about building that community. And, community isn't built overnight. It's built with consistency, authenticity, and with true intention. So think of it like hosting a dinner party. We said that example earlier. You wouldn't just invite people and ignore them. People would think your party sucks, right? You people want to feel welcomed and by the guests and have a little one-on-one time with them. So you need to put some effort into making sure that people feel welcome and comfortable through your social media. Okay, so treat your followers as a community and they'll become your most valuable advocates. Okay, now your community only sticks if you're being real, which brings us to what might be the most powerful marketing tool you already have is authenticity. And we've been talking about this throughout our entire webinar so far. Your authenticity is the new aesthetic. Okay, it is actually being authentic is viral right now. No longer are we using filters and face things to glow it up. Being authentic is the trend on social media right now, and it should be hard, right? People can tell when you're trying too hard. So let's just share what's more real as a realtor behind the scenes, day in the life of a realtor, challenges, big and small wins, and so on. So this means showing the human side of your business, all the behind the scene moments, challenges you face, challenges your clients are facing, and maybe sprinkle in a little bit of humor because it makes it more memorable, right? So think about the last time you had a deal fall through, but you were able to get your buyer's offer accepted on another home. And it was just one of those everything happens for a reason moment, right? People love to hear those types of stories. Situations like this happen all the time. But what consumers don't understand is how you are typically the one who has to keep it all together and needs to save the day. And these are the stories that should be told. Frankly, as a consumer, we don't hear enough of these stories, right? We hear all these stories about bad agents and the bad things that they're doing, but we hardly ever hear all the good things that realtors do today. So these are the stories that validate your hard-earned commissions, right? When you're going for the testimonials and you're building that brand awareness, we need to hear more of these stories, all the things that you do to save the day for your clients. And this is just one of the many examples that makes you relatable. It makes people think, right? Here's a realtor that I can trust, someone that I can work with. And anytime we share stories with one another and it's just very authentic, it makes us more close to one another, right? Another example to showcase your authenticity is to ensure that your digital brand presence is current and consistent. So, your digital brand presence, what is that? Your online presence, right? Most people, no matter what demographic, age group they're in, are going to the internet to search anything about real estate, right? We've seen this huge wave, this huge shift of I would say maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, a lot of big percentage of folks were walking into offices or looking at the newspaper. majority of them are going online, no matter what age demographic. And I really want to emphasize that because I think a lot of people just generalize, that boomer generation, that grandma generation, that they're not on the internet, but they are. They are, right? They all have iPhones. Majority of them know how to use the internet. And if not, they have someone in their household that's helping them. So let's not continue to think if you have clients that are of that baby boomer generation that they're not looking online because they are. Okay. So we want to make sure that our online brand presence is current and consistent. Otherwise, you are just another mystery agent. And this is not the brand you want people to see, right? So don't be a mystery agent. Don't get lost in the shuffle of their search and don't make it hard for people to find you, right? It's time to get back in control and ensure that you go online, you update your profiles. I'm going to share with you in a moment here in a few minutes how to go in and update your realtor.com profile, your free profile on our site, by the way, so that you can ensure that you're not a mystery agent. All right. So this plays a really big part in your social media strategy because if they like your content, if they followed you on social media, you want to keep showing up in other places. Like social media is not the only place you're going to be seen. And so if they look you up on a Google search and this shows up for your brand, all your credibility has gone out the door, right? So make it easy for people to discover you in other places. So before we get to the demo of setting up your realtor.com profile, the final strategy here for social media success in 2026 is to ride the wave of emerging tools and trends. So influencers stay ahead not by doing more, but by experimenting with new features, technologies, and platforms before everything else. So I just shared with you some of the new features and technologies that's being rolled out by Instagram, a couple different strategies like agents utilizing YouTube and Google Business Page like it's social media. And, early adoption isn't really about gimmicks. It's about keeping your brand fresh and relevant for your audience. So the tools that you explore today could be the channel that drives your business tomorrow. All right. So what are some examples of current emerging tools and trends? So AI video. I know many of you are still exploring AI video. We talked about AI at our presentation was it last month? I can't quite remember the date. Well, I think it was in October. Where did November go, by the way? Okay. AI video tools. I know many of you are looking to utilize more of AI and video is no different. So CapCut, Pictory, Pictory, and Canva Magic Studio allows faster creation of polished videos utilizing AI. Okay, so CapCut, we already talked about them. Pictory is another app or a software, if you will, that you can utilize. And Canva, I feel like majority of you are already using Canva. If you have the paid version of Canva, that Magic Studio has a ton more tools that you can utilize. And what's great about that is you can just pay every month. So if you just want to try it for a month, you can do that. But there's a lot more AI video tools available through the paid version. Okay. Emerging tools and trends is what we're talking about. Threads is where all the cool kids from the old school Twitter are hanging out these days. All right. So if you're curious about, if you're thinking, Instagram's not really my jam, I don't like taking photos, and Facebook is, that's another audience. I'm looking for something different. And maybe X just isn't your jam. Threads is where it's at right now. Okay. Again, all the cool kids from the old school Twitter, this is where they're at. Now, what's nice about Threads is that it's still in its infancy. It is owned by Meta, Facebook, Instagram, so they're all interconnected. There's no advertising on it yet, but I feel like that's going to change very soon, where it's going to kind of cloud up our feed. But it's very nice right now when you just log into your threads. Even if you go in for the first time, it's going to start to show you some different posts and content. And the more you interact with it, like it and comment, it'll the algorithm is really great in there. It'll show you content that's meaningful to you, which is similar to TikTok, right? A lot of people love going on TikTok because the content, their algorithm is like no other. It absolutely like shows you the things that you're thinking of, like how does that even happen? Or it's all based on the way you're using it, right? So threads, again, something very different if you're looking at it. And then interactive live videos is another emerging trend right now in social media. So, for example, you can do a live on Facebook, or you can go live in your Facebook group, if you will. You can also go live on YouTube or go live on Instagram. And what this does is it adds immediacy and builds stronger connections with your online community. Okay, so what's great about the lives is you can promote it ahead of time. So you can use that as, we're going to go live on Monday, December 8th. We're going to do an Ask Me Anything. As a realtor, 20 years in Northern California, right? Whatever your catch is. And so you can promote that ahead of time. You can, record it or save it and then use it as a on demand later on, right? So lots of different ways you can do the live. So interactive live videos, very emerging right now. It's a really big part of TikTok as well. Our TikTok lives, they've actually rearranged all the different buttons on there. So live shows up more prominently in TikTok. And so again, for those of you that are a little bit more advanced, you have no problem being on camera, you have no problem talking to your audience on camera. Think about those live sessions that you can do. Maybe you do one every week, right? Now, anytime you are on the platform, so Instagram, and I'm kind of flopping back and forth here, but I also know that you're all using different things. But Instagram, honestly, is my favorite. And it's easy to train on Instagram. Okay. When you have a public business profile, or oh God, what are the other categories? It's like a business profile, content creator. Like when you set up your account for the first time, it'll ask you, is this a personal account or is this a business account, right? Or are you a content creator? Anytime you do like business or content creator, your page has to be public, first of all, right? So your audience and your clients and customers can find you. They tend to offer more technology features first. So I actually manage 5 Instagram pages. 2 of them are private personal pages, and then the other one is more of a blog, and then 2 is their business pages, right? And I notice that on my business pages, I tend to get these alerts from Instagram that they're testing new tools for a business page. And then same thing with my personal. They'll say, here are some new features for your personal page. And so if you're always looking for the latest in technology in your social media, make sure that your accounts are set up the right way. Okay, so for realtors, I always recommend that you do a public business profile for any of your platforms. You want to be found, you need to be found. Your Instagram is no good if you are private. Okay. So, I mean, it's good if you are staying connected with your own friends, your sphere of influence. These are people you know. Just set up a second account that's more public and you can utilize it to really expose your business and really advertise and promote things that you need to. All right. So just create a second account that's public. This way you can now have different messages that go out to your people, right? And then same thing with Facebook. It's always good to have a Facebook business page. It just acts like a website on Facebook for you. You can still have your private Facebook account, but it's always good. Also, I think it's also good practice to always have one multiple, because at any moment, for whatever reason, your page can get shut down, right? Not to scare you, but I've seen this happen quite often over the years. I've been training agents on social media where out of nowhere, their Facebook account is just shut off. It actually happened to me one time, and I don't know what triggered it. I don't know if someone complained about me. Maybe they just didn't like my webinar, so they went and complained about me on Facebook. I'm not that active on Facebook, so I don't, it was weird. So when I contested it, it actually came back after a few days. But it's always good to have that backup. So if you do have a lively following, they know that they can find you in 2 places. Okay. So hopefully, I hope that I didn't ramble on too much about that, but let's definitely not be afraid of the new tools and emerging trends and utilize it to really enhance our success. Okay. All right. Now, I want to talk a little bit about AI, and we talked about this at our event back in October. SEO versus GEO versus AEO. Now, this is the latest right now in AI and artificial intelligence, but this affects so many parts of your online branding, your marketing. All right. So, first of all, SEO is search engine optimization, and this is how your website shows up in Google search results or on the internet search results, right? So, it's how your website is structured and how there's many, many layers to your website as it's being built that can feed into an internet search. So, for example, if someone search, Angie, Javier, realtor, and if I were a realtor and I had a website, I would want that website to show up at the top of the Google search, right? And so it's really how to optimize your website so it could be found. Okay, period. That's what it is. Next is GEO, which is generative engine optimization, and this is getting your content cited or referenced in an AI tool. So if somebody is in ChatGPT or in Perplexity and they say, is it a good time to buy or rent right now? And if I had a blog or if I had a video blog on YouTube about buying versus renting, there's an increased chance of that content showing up in ChatGPT. Okay, so that's what GEO is getting your online content referenced or showing up in the AI tool. Okay, so again, as I've said, this affects all of your marketing, all of your social media, because the content that you're putting out there now has an opportunity of showing up in an AI search. And then AEO is answer engine optimization, and it's kind of like the cousin to GEO. AEO is optimizing your content so that it could appear in featured snippets, searches, or more answer boxes, right? And so it just kind of shows up in a different way depending on the AI tool that people are utilizing. But this is all about your online content. So it's the posts you're putting on social media, it's your videos on YouTube, it's your blog or your articles on your website. So you think about all of the content that you're putting out there. How can people find it and where does it show up in AI? And that's exactly what this is: generative engine optimization and answer engine optimization. All right, sounds fancy, sounds technical, but what can you do now, today, as a realtor to increase your chances of showing up in an AI search? Buyers and sellers are out there using AI more and more every day. They're utilizing it for research, they're utilizing it in their decision making. We're using it as well, right? In our day-to-day business. And so, what can you do so that you show up in someone's chat GPT when they're researching real estate? Okay, first off, video content. You got to do video in 2026. Do not ignore video. If you're already doing it on your listings, if you have a videographer or a photography company, maybe you can work with them on creating more content outside of your listing videos, right? I've actually heard a number of agents that would do that. They have, like a photography company that the whole office will use. They'll reach out to them and say, "Hey, I want to create video content. I want to do 2 videos per month. Can we work together?" And it works out very great. So there you have it. Video content. Do not sleep on it in 2026, okay? In your videos and in all of your content, focus more on your expertise. How can you help your dream client, right? Think about the problem, the process, and the payoff. What is your expertise that can help them succeed? In your written content, your articles, your blogs, write more like an information source, like a teacher, not a salesperson, right? Structure your content with bullet points or in a Q&A format, because AI tools love step by step. They love bullets. AI tools loves Q&A, like here's the question, here's the answer. So you can think about some of your articles that you're going to be posting or your blog. Maybe you have someone that's doing it for you. Talk to them about optimizing that content online so that it can be skimmed by AI tools. All right. And then last but not least, we want to update all of our online profiles. Okay. Well, of course, we're going to start with realtor.com because it's the easiest. But this is your sign to get your online presence in order. All right, so let's start off by looking at your free realtor.com profile. It is free to have this presence on realtor.com. We have millions and millions and millions of people searching our site every month in your communities. So they're not only looking at listings and looking up open houses or learning how to get a mortgage, they're also looking up realtors. All right, even after you've met a customer for the first time, the next thing they're going to do is Google you. And if this someone is using realtor.com, the app, on a regular basis, they're probably skipping Google and going straight to realtor.com. We have a whole find an agent section. You see that right at the top of that image. Find an agent, where people can search for an agent or a realtor on our site. Fully complete profiles on realtor.com can get up to 4 times as many impressions and 75% more leads. Leads that come to you from your profile. So there are ways that that person can intentionally reach out to you. That lead comes to you for free. Okay? If you have leads with Connections Plus or with Opcity, that doesn't go back into your lead bank, if you will. That lead stays with you. It's free. All right. And I've heard many agents really optimize their profiles to continue being found on realtor.com. So this is what it looks like, the free profile. This is the basic agent profile on realtor.com. It's free and just an easy way to be found online. Top and center is your profile snapshot, which includes your photo, your brokerage, years of experience, if you have any star ratings on realtor.com, and also that connect button. So again, very intentionally, the buyer and seller can easily connect with you from here. Right above your photos, you see here are the quick links right here: overview, contact information, listing and sales, rating and reviews. These are quick links that they can jump to. So it just bounces on the profile if they want to go straight to the testimonials, for example. Under your name and headshot is your performance snapshot of the past 12 months. So there's your recent sales, there's your price range, and so on. Okay. Under your name here is where you can tag your specialties, which I highly recommend you do. So any specialties: first-time home buyers, buyer's agent, relocation, you have different categories you can pick from. And then there's other languages. Again, highly recommend if you speak multiple languages. We have so many consumers coming on here looking for Spanish-speaking agents and other languages as well. This is their way of finding the agents that they can talk to. All right, so I highly recommend you put your other languages in, whatever it may be: Spanish, Italian, Mandarin, Tagalog, American Sign Language. Put that in there so people that need someone that they can talk to. Okay, and then there's your bio right there. You can see it's very simple. There's all your contact information. You can put your cell phone number, your office number, really make it easy for people to find you. All right. Here are your realtor credentials. So for those of you that have your credentials and specialties from NAR, when you put in your NAR member ID number, you can connect it here onto your realtor.com profile. Your different credentials will show up here. And then as a consumer, if I see, oh, at home with diversity, what does that mean? If I click on that little I circle information, it'll explain to me what that credential means, what that means when a realtor has that credential. Okay, if you're GRI, RRC, all these things, excuse me, CRS, etc., right there. Okay, now to get in here, you're going to go to dashboard.realtor.com, dashboard.realtor.com. It'll take you to this page here where you'll just enter your email address and your password. If you don't remember either of those, there's a link right there to do it. You can visit the support center. All right. You can also call customer care if you're really having issues. They can walk you through, but it's pretty self-service, pretty straightforward how to log in. Once you're in to the dashboard, so this is the back end pro dashboard for realtors and for agents. You'll see here a menu of all the different things you can access on the back end of your realtor.com. If you have any listings, your listings will show up here, and you can actually enhance your listings on realtor.com, like add more higher resolution photos, because sometimes depending on your MLS, the photos will be kind of downgraded a little bit. So if you want to come in, you can add more high resolution photos in here and more additional details on your listings if that your MLS might not have the fields. Okay, so you can put that here. Here's your profile. So you click on manage profile. And then you notice right up here, it'll show you your completeness score. So I love this because it actually tells you, like right here, what sections are missing. Right. So here, all I got to do is ask for a couple recommendations and add my specialties. That will bring me up to 100%. Okay. And I will tell you profiles that are completed at 100%, and any profile that has any recent activities, like if you get a rating and review or a testimonial, those tend to show up first in a search. Okay, so obviously, if you don't have a complete profile, even if it's at 50%, you're not going to be high up in the search. Okay, so let's make sure that we complete these to increase our chances. All right. And so here's a quick look again about in the About Me section. There's your bio. Now, I wanted to call this section out here because remember we talked about for the AEO and GEO, like what can you do now? And you should structure your content with bullets or in a Q&A format. You can do that right here. Okay. And actually, we actually have this is the basic free version of the profile. We also have a premium profile, which comes with our local expert solution. It's a paid additional profile where it actually has specific sections where you can create bullet points to help more better search online. But if you don't have that, that's okay. You can just do it right into the bio. Just create bullets or do a Q&A format right into your bio. Okay, that works just as well. Right, so there you have it again. There is our basic free profile. You all have this. Okay, so just come in here and make sure that you update it. All right. And then once you're done with that, you're going to go on a Zillow, or you're going to do the same thing on your Zillow profile, right? And then you'll do it on the profile that's on your broker's website. And if you have a profile on your MLS or association site, you'll do it there as well. But just go through, you want to do this once or twice a year. This is the perfect time to do it before January 1st, right? Do not wait till January, but it's perfect time. Go ahead and update all your profiles, right? Realtor.com, Zillow, all of your association profiles, and so on. Okay, here are the 10 strategies we talked about for social media success, right? Social media doesn't reward the loudest person. It rewards the most consistent, the most intentional, and the most relatable. Each of these 10 strategies isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters for your buyers and sellers. So here we are. Know your people, define your audience and your platform goals, post with purpose and consistency, utilize content pillars, so the themes, right? Market insights, local business spotlights. You determine what are the themes that you want to create every single month. Engagement in your algorithm, the 5-5-5 rule. All right. All it takes is 5 minutes a day. Collaborate with your business partners and affiliates, even other agents to really accelerate your visibility. Really master the art of storytelling and your short form video. I think those two go together very well. Data is your direction. Use the analytics to improve and really know how your content is working. Build a community, not just a following. We want to be very authentic and ensure that people feel like we can see them, that we can hear them, and we can communicate with them. And then number 10, ride the wave. Let's not be afraid of emerging tools and trends. All right. So all of this will help you understand your audience, really help you show up with more purpose and engage with people like you who care. Because you do, right? You care about your buyers and sellers. All right. Influencers are truly built on habits, systems, and trust. And the same is true for top agents like you. All right. As we start to wrap up here, you already have everything you need to influence on social media. Now's the time to own it. We went over a lot of best practices to elevate your own social media to the next level. All you need is one or two takeaways to get started. So, what is one takeaway from today? I'd love to hear from you. Come and tell me in the chat here. Tell me what is your one takeaway today that you're going to start before the new year. All right, let's not wait till January 1st to get our plan in order. Just pick one thing that you'll do now. Is it the content calendar? Is it creating a plan for your video? Is it creating your content pillars? Updating your profiles, right? So go ahead and let me know how you're going to get started. And I really love this quote. People will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel, whether you made them feel good or you made them feel bad, right? So I love this quote. Always think, how you are you going to make people feel? All right. So I lightly touched about local expert and the premium profile. If you're interested in that, you can go in and click on that QR code, and you can learn more about our different solutions. Even the free profile, if you just kind of need to get in there and find resources to dig in, you can click on that QR code. It'll take you to all of our solutions for real estate professionals, for realtors and agents. Okay, so I'll keep that up for a second. And then here's all my contact information. I know we're at the hour here. You're welcome to email me, reach out to me, follow me on social media. And if you need any additional technical support, there's the 800 number for customer care at realtor.com pro. And that is how we can support you. Thank you all so much. Oh, Stephen, you're welcome. Thank you. Let's stay in touch. Again, please send me an email or follow me on. So after all, it is a social media session, right? This is being recorded again. So if you hopped on late and you missed the beginning, you will get the recording. And again, best of luck to you all in 2026. I hope to see you all again. Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much, Robert, for being here. Have a great rest of the week. Great holiday if I don't talk to you. And we'll see you in the new year. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.